Good evening, and welcome to another psychosexual episode of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now let's take a walk on the wild side with Voice of Doom. Hello. I thought I'd change the image again for a minute, because I didn't think I'd have to revisit this subject, but apparently it's becoming bigger than I thought. And I was being facetious, but now apparently everything seems to be more complicated than ever. So I'm going to kind of go back to that subject a bit, but before I do, I like to pose a bit, model, just to, I wear this around the house sometimes. I like the long maxis, skirts, palazzos. I wear them around the house. The kids don't care. They really don't care. But I don't get all done up like this too often now, and I'll tell you why. Because this transgender thing is way more complicated than even people that suffer from it know. Because I'll try to lay it out in a nutshell, because you can watch my early episodes, Transgender Bathrooms 1 and 2, and get the gist. And then there's another one in there somewhere that kind of explains where I'm at. But my whole 2020 and everything, I was, grappling with this transgender thing because it's been hounding me all my life. And I wanted to be one way, but I knew I was another way. And I can lay all that stuff to rest because I'm one way that physically, and I can change things a little bit or a lot, but, I'll get into that later. Because the transgender bathrooms, I was kind of being joking about it, but apparently it was a bathroom that caused a big brouhaha with just everything that America stands for. Because, and I don't know the truth, and I'm sure the truth is nothing like what we've been led to believe, but the bottom line is a guy decided he was a girl and went to the girl's bathroom and molested or assaulted a girl, and that was just what I was saying wouldn't be likely to happen, but I was saying it was like old men and little girl, come on. But yeah, it happened, and I think there's a lot more nuances to that story than meets the eye, but the father was enraged because no one had done anything about it, and they didn't misconstrue it. They turned it into a thing where they didn't want parents interfering with the kids' education. If they're going to public school, then they damn well will learn what the powers that be want them to learn, because they're not paying for much, so you better not come in here with your cockamamie, suggestions. And that brought in the Justice Department. We all know the story. But I really didn't think that transgender bathrooms would become a major point of contention that would cause the world to kind of start blowing up. And I saw something else today that prompted me, because I was going to do this anyway, is kind of revisit this subject. And I saw something else that was like the IOC, International Olympic Committee, is now kind of saying anybody can be anybody they want to. You just say who you want to be and you can be on that team. Now, I don't care. I mean, I don't even have a dog in the fight, but I will say it's wrong. And everybody knows it's wrong. And even if you go all the way, you may diminish your masculine traits quite dramatically, but there's still going to be remnants, and it's just not fair. And it's not going to work out. and I remember the women's lib movement in the 70s and the late 60s. And I think they were fighting for stuff that they already had. And I think it's almost like they caught the bus because, the way I look at it, that the women's movement just kind of brought women down to the level of men. Women are superior. I mean, it's obvious. They have to be. They bear the kids. And they could figure out a way to bear kids without males if they put their mind to it. I'm sure they can. So, putting that all aside, it's wrong and it's going to be a big mess. And I guess they should just bag the Olympics completely now. I think we've seen the last of that. Because there's not going to be a Winter Olympics in Beijing. Come on. It's not going to happen. And it's so effed up now that they should just bag the whole thing. It was a nice idea. But women's sports, and you get woke and you say you don't want to offend people and you bow to their wishes. And it's not right. And it's not happening. It's not really happening. There's something else there. There's something else much more deep and diabolical that they're trying to not only divide us, but they're trying to blur the very essence of being human. So we're in some sort of an existential, weird nexus of something's going to happen. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And we're all on edge. And this transgender thing, I never thought it would be such a big deal, but it is a big deal because these secret people are making it a big deal. And I know it, because otherwise it wouldn't be. It's nice to be inclusive and it's nice to have tolerance. And it would be nice if everybody could just do whatever they want within reason, without hurting others. And just everybody's like, whatever. You don't have to go and have an operation. If you want to go out dressed like this, then go out. Why not? People are shocked for about 10 seconds. But I've told people that, I've been having thoughts about what I want to do because I was never comfortable as a male, even though I'm heterosexual, okay? I just felt like I would rather be a different way. And I took steps to be that way, and I realized that and I told you this before, it's a catch-22. Because when you start at an early age of having these thoughts in your head, then it gets transferred into your libido, okay? And if you start taking steps to change yourself, your libido leaves, and then the urge or the thought that, I want to be someone different leaves. Even though I do dress like, like these t-shirts and, the palazzo pants or whatever. I do that, but that's not a big deal. It's not like it gives me any kind of a thrill. It's comfortable. So I'm realizing, I either am going to keep on taking these chemicals and get more, feminine traits, but I'm not going to feel anything. And it's been almost a year since I lost my mate, and I want to feel things again. So I'm going to just curtail that whole idea. Because whatever's happened is going to stay the same, and I'm gender fluid is a good word for it. I just do whatever and feel whatever and look whatever, and if people don't like it, oh well. But that's where I'm at. It's really hard because I thought I would probably start a whole new life as a different person, and I realized I like myself the way I was. I like it since I've been doing this stupid thing, because I watch myself and I go, hey, I'm not that bad. And I got my eyebrows done, so I have a face now. I don't look like a blank. And if I want to wear makeup or whatever, I'll probably, if I stop going off the chemicals, I'm going to get more into going out like this because it'll be more exciting. So you see how it's kind of a mess. So my bottom line conclusion is this. I'm going to explain transgenderism in a nutshell for everybody. If you change your sex completely from stem to stern, you might say, then you were probably gay in the first place, because that would be adapting your sexuality to your gender. And I don't even know what gender is, but it's male and female, but there's hermaphrodites and there's all kinds of other things too. So there's double Ys and triple X's and all kinds of things. So don't start saying everything's cut and dried. I don't like that attitude either. Like, there's men and women and that's it. Well, that's not true. Scientifically, it's not. Now, what was I saying? Sexuality and gender. There's two different things, and you got to go on each, the spectrum. I like men and I want to be a woman. All right, well, then you're going to probably go do everything you can from an early age. I like women and I want to be a woman. A little more complicated. Oh, I'll be a lesbian. Well, I'm not going to go to all kinds of trouble for what? I mean, what's the end game? Find a woman that doesn't mind being with somebody who's been, I mean, I'm sure there are, but it just seems counterintuitive. So there's a spectrum of gender expression, let's just say, or just expression. Don't even put gender in there. 'Cause I don't go around pretending like I'm, a girl, because they know I'm not. So I don't go acting like, call me she and call me her and call me it and call me they and call me X. Call me whatever. I don't give a crap. But I wanted to revisit it because this transgender thing, boy, everything's connected. I'm telling you, all phenomena. You take the, transgender movement, goes way off the deep end to the point where let's get rid of women completely and let's have men be women. And then boys put on skirts and say I'm a girl and they do things in the bathroom. And then there's a big brouhaha, and then it's a federal case. And they want to make parents into domestic terrorists, which is probably the plan. They try to marginalize people, and so it's obvious, come on. And then the other thing with the sports, and I told you it's wrong, and I'm not going to change my mind. Not going to do it. Because otherwise, there's going to be unfair advantages, and there is a spectrum. I just got on hormones a week ago, but I'm a girl, and I'm going to compete in the weightlifting. I'm going to compete in almost anything. So, I mean, and I got beaten by girls in tennis and all kinds of things. I was never much into sports, and I think if I got on the women's team, I'd probably be bad on that too. So, incoherent nonsense, but I think I might have shed some light on some subjects. Did I want to see something else? It's a lot of transgender thing, and I think it's all part and parcel with this conspiracy that I was hearing about. Blurring and obfuscation, confusion and division. And it's all part and parcel of what the 20s will be, the 2020s, bad times. So I might not be getting all done up very much often, or maybe more, because I'm going to stop doing these chemicals and then I'm going to be into it more. But it's a pain. It's hard to put on makeup and I kind of throw it on. It's not too bad today. I kind of got the black hair because my mom said that the gray hair makes me look old. So I did this for a change. But just threw all this crap together. I have a bunch of clothes, but it's a lot of trouble. Women have to put up with a lot of crap, and some of it's of their own making. High heels, torture. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll do something a little more conventional next time. Goodbye. Adios.